All right, everyone, welcome and thanks for joining me today. We will be diving into one of the most important topics for dental professionals on TempStars. It's your reputation and rating and our rating system. Whether you're brand new to TempStars or you've been temping for a while, understanding how your rating works is one of the best investments you can make in your career with us. So let's get started. For all of those who have never joined in before, hello, my name is Shelby and I'm the lead engagement specialist here at TempStars. My job is just to help make sure you have the tools and the knowledge to succeed on our platform. This session will be recorded, so please hold any questions that you have until the end of the presentation, and we'll do our best to get through all of those and as many as we can with the time we have remaining. So now today is all about transparency. We're going to be pulling back that curtain on exactly what offices look at when they are rating you. So let's get into it. So we have a lot of great ground to cover today. We'll start by looking at why your rating is so much more than just a number. Then we'll go deep into each of the 4 rating categories offices use to evaluate you. From there, we'll cover pro and elite statuses, the habits of our highest rated temps, and then what happens next when your ratings dip, and we'll wrap up with any key takeaways that you have to apply, starting with your very next shift. And by the end of today, you're going to leave knowing exactly what offices are looking for and the simple habits that keep your score shining. And before we dive into it, I do want to mention that everything that we're covering today is part of our upcoming Fair Fresh Start rollout that's going to be launching in the next couple of weeks. Your current ratings are not yet impacted, but we want to make sure that you're fully prepared and ahead of the changes when they do go live. And if you haven't had a chance to watch our webinar from last month that covered the Fair Fresh Start rollout, the changes and all the details that entails, please go ahead. You can scan the QR code, take a picture, and then refer back to it. But that will take you to the webinar that we hosted last month, all about the Fair Fresh Start. And we can go back to the slide. You can see the QR code after the webinar if you have questions on it. Okay, so your rating on TempStars is really your professional brand. It's the first thing that offices see when they're deciding who to book. And as we mentioned on the last slide, again, these are the changes coming with the new Fair Fresh Start. So while your current ratings aren't yet impacted, this is exactly what will be in effect once the rollout goes live in the next couple of weeks. So the benefits of a high rating are real and tangible. You get higher pay, more bookings, and even permanent job offers are all directly tied to a strong score here. And if your rating does drop, TempStars has a process in place. We don't just remove people. We work with professionals through account reviews and required training to help you get back on track. That said, when concerns go unaddressed and that pattern starts to develop, it can ultimately affect your ability to stay on the platform. So every shift is a chance to build your reputation, but it's also a chance to miss it. So just remember that. Okay, so the 4 rating categories. After every shift you complete, the office does have the opportunity to rate you on 4 specific categories. They're not vague impressions, they're structured, consistent, and they paint a complete picture of you as a professional. So clinical skills is what you actually do chairside. The professionalism is how you show up and conduct yourself. Communication is how you connect not just with the team, but also the patients. And time management is how reliable and efficiently you move through the day. So together, all 4 of these categories build your professional reputation on TempStars. That's what the offices talk about when they're recommending the temp or when they're not recommending a temp. All right, so the first one, clinical skills. So clinical skills is probably the most intuitive category. It's about your technical competency and the quality of care you deliver. So one important thing to keep in mind is that your profile needs to accurately reflect your actual skills and experience. If you've listed that you're comfortable with a certain procedure or software and you're really not, that disconnect will show up in your rating. Honesty in your profile protects both you and the office. So for hygienists, office are looking at the patient assessments, periodontal care, treatment techniques, and the patient education. For the dental assistants, it's about technical support, organization, taking initiative, and staying within scope of practice. And when in doubt at a new office, ask. Asking about their protocols is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of professionalism, and it will always be respected. So remember that. Going on to the next category is your professionalism. So if clinical skills gets you the shift, the professionalism is what gets you invited back to the shift. It starts before you even walk through the door. The appearance does matter here. So showing up dressed appropriately and aligned to the office's expectations makes a great first impression. Arriving early tells the office that you're prepared and you respect their schedule. Every office has its own rhythm and team dynamic, and your job as a temp is to blend in and contribute, not to change how they do things. So don't assume every office operates the way your last one did. Just follow their lead. Your energy is genuinely contagious. A temp who walks in with enthusiasm is always memorable in the best way. And patient information never leaves the office. Confidentiality is both an ethical and legal obligation. Professionalism is the multiplier on everything else. Next category, the communication. Communication is the skill that ties everything else together, and it's the one that's easiest to overlook. It doesn't mean being loud or extroverted. It means being clear, direct, and approachable. Active listening is underrated. When everyone tells you something, really hear it and respond in a way that shows that you understood and you actually listened. Asking the right question early in the shift and about the workflows, the preferences, how they handle specific situations, it's going to save everyone time and it shows that you're really engaged. And keeping the team informed proactively rather than waiting for someone to notice something's off is what separates an okay temp from a great one. The temps who communicate well will feel part of a team just in the first hour. And everyone wants to feel part of the team, not just like you've been tacked on last minute. Okay, time management. This is one of my favorites. So in a dental office, the schedule is everything, as we all know. So when one patient runs long, it ripples through the entire day. And how you manage your time directly impacts the office. Arriving early gives you time to get oriented, set yourself up for a smooth shift, and just be ready to go. Staying on schedule throughout the day includes your notes and your charting. Backed up documentation creates extra work for the office, and we don't want that. Moving with purpose and keeping your workspace organized makes the whole day run more smoothly for everyone, and not just for you, but everyone in the office. And when unexpected delays happen, staying calm and communicating clearly is part of the job. Time management isn't just about being fast, it's about being reliable. And that goes for everything, not just being a temp. Okay, pro and elite. So great ratings don't just protect your account. They unlock a whole new level of opportunity on TempStars. So higher hourly rates, the ability to hold more shifts at once, instant book, auto book for faster and easier booking, favorite status with offices who love working with you, and even permanent position offers are all within reach. The path to get there is pretty straightforward. So you're just completing shifts consistently, maintain strong ratings across all four of the categories we just talked about, and avoid cancellations, especially last minute ones. And a no-show is one of the most serious actions on the platform, and it can have significant impact on your standing. So show up, perform well, and be reliable, and everything else comes to follow. So let's go over some of the habits of a high-rated temp. So the highest rated temps on TempStars aren't necessarily the most experienced. They're the most intentional. Arriving that 10 to 15 minute window early every single time, introducing yourself to the team warmly, and asking about office workflows before diving in sets the tone for the entire shift. Staying within your scope of practice and asking when you're unsure shows professionalism. It doesn't show weakness. And keeping a positive attitude, even when things don't go as planned, Communicating proactively throughout the day and leaving the workspace clean and organized are the things that offices are going to truly remember. Thanking the team before you leave and checking your ratings after each shift to reflect on the feedback are what separates a good temp from a great one. And these habits literally cost nothing, but they compound into a reputation that will open up those doors for your pro and elite. All right, we covered a lot. I rambled, I feel like, but let's talk about the things to take away here. I want you to hold on to, after this webinar, this little list so that you know what your goals are. So your rating is your professional brand. It's living, it's breathing, and it changes literally with every shift. The 4 categories that you're being evaluated on every time is your clinical skills, your professionalism, your communication, and the sleeper, the time management. High ratings unlock the real opportunities. You can unlock higher rates, more bookings, Instabook, favorite status, pro and elite, and even those permanent position offers will come through. And the habits that get you there are simple. You show up early, you communicate well, and you stay professional, and leave every office better than how you found it. Now that you know exactly what's being measured, why it matters, and what top performers do differently, the question you need to ask yourself is, what's your next shift going to look like? Hopefully, it's one of those, all of them put together. All right. So thank you for joining me today. It was such a pleasure spending time with you as always. And if you would like to chat with me one-on-one about your profile, job searching, anything TempStars related, really, you can go ahead and scan that QR code we have there. It goes straight to my calendar and just book a slot with me. And then for any account specific questions, or concerns, technical issues, anything like that, you can reach out to our customer support team. They are always available at help@tempstars.com. We have the email address there for you. They are wonderful and very responsive 7 days a week that they are on. And as always, stay tuned for upcoming webinar topics. I do one of these every single month. You can always access our recorded ones on YouTube. You just go to YouTube, type in TempStars, and all of our webinars that we've ever done for the past year will be there for you to view. And I think I covered everything. If anybody has any questions, you can unmute or raise your hand and you can ask questions now. You can also use the chat window if you'd like. I do have a member from customer support joining us, is Travia. So if you have any questions, Travia will be answering them. Yes, Marbs, what's that? I have a question from Marbs Clinic. Perfect, Travia's on it. Okay, I see that. I'll go ahead and take this one, Trivia. So I know you have a question about you got a good review, but your rating didn't change. Remember, these the things that I'm talking about today, they don't go into effect until our Fair Fresh Start rollout, which is coming out in a couple weeks. So although your rating doesn't change currently, we're trying to prepare you for the upcoming change to the TempStars platform that'll be coming out in a couple weeks. Good question. As we keep the floor open, I'm going to go back. Go ahead, Tatiana.
Hello?
Hello, go ahead. What's your question?
Yes, my question I always was thinking about, but never even wrote an email. You know, we go like, we know dental assistant, yeah, we're going for work, but sometimes what they do these days, like you're a floater, right? So isn't it like good to be like on TempStars under the work, like we know that we're going to float or assist, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Sometimes offices know before the day gets started what they need, and sometimes they don't. So I
Um,
think there it's just being willing to adapt. I think
I
is the best way to
Okay.
maneuver that one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I thought
Because
maybe it's a good like we know like, oh, we're
yeah,
going to float, you prepare to like understand like the
yeah,
sterilization more, like or that you will be assisting to the doctor. But yes, adaptation is good. Yeah.
yeah. And
Thank
then also, I mean, if it's something that worries you or even bothers you, you could always we have the in-app text feature that before you show up for your shift, maybe the day before, you can always text them and say, "Hey, I just wanted to know blah blah blah," and ask your question and see. Like, oh, maybe they say my our day fell apart, but we could really use some extra hands if you could be a
Mhm.
floater or if you could do this, and then see what they say. That way, you kind of know before you show up.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good idea. Yeah, we can message them. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.
sure. Yeah, thanks for the question. That was a great one.
Thanks.
All right, I put the screen up here. If anybody wants to scan the QR code that talks about Fair Fresh Start, it's actually a webinar that our founder, Dr. James Younger, presented. So it's actually, he created the whole new model for the membership program. So he goes through in detail what it looks like and as a practicing member of TempStars, what that means to you. So if you guys haven't watched that last month, you can scan the QR code and it takes you to that webinar. You can watch that one whenever you'd like. Another question. Do offices see our ratings or only our profile? So they'll be able to see both. They'll be able to see your rating as well as your the three things they see in your profile is your about me section, your skills and qualifications, and your work experience. So they'll be able to see all of that. Your rating, they do not see in detail. They don't see, they just pretty much see a number. But yeah, so that's what they see. They don't get to see. So if somebody had like a really poor, let's say they had a poor experience with you as a temp and they wrote a whole bunch of stuff that was not nice or not good, they won't be able to see that in detail. So just it's more confidential. Again, good question. Travia, you're typing. Okay. Okay, so how to maintain pro and elite. So once you get there, it's just again, you just need to keep working your shifts and getting the those good ratings. Once you start canceling shifts, doing no shows, having poor experiences, that's what's going to start having you drop from pro and elite. Once you're there, you're in a really good spot. It's just if you start canceling those shifts or getting really poor feedback, that's when you start dropping from pro and elite. Same. Perfect. Trying to catch up. All right, Travia. Oh, I see Mallory typing. Thank you, Mallory. Yes, that was so you will also need to complete at least one shift on TempStars per year to keep that elite status. Perfect.
I'll take this one, Shelby. What is the best way to inquire for personal feedback? As a newer hygienist, I asked for access to the TempStars lessons, which may be applicable for myself, for example, to improve workflow, but was told not all hygienists are eligible for these resources. Maybe this was a mistake. Okay. Hey, Tamara, I'm Tradia. I am in customer support as tier 1. And if we're talking about your personal account, I would recommend you email me personally at help@tempstars.com so that I can review everything and just go over your account stats with you. As far as TempStars lessons, we do have a few courses for your account if you go below our provisional status, and those courses will help you get back to, back on the path and help you get your account stats back to where they were slowly. So I can tell you some more information about it if you can email me about your account.
I went ahead and put our customer support email back on the screen for everyone. Thank you, Travi.
Yes, and Mallory also shared that we do have a fair fresh start program rolling out within the next week, and this is just well, we'll be sharing more about it. So y'all just stay tuned. So another one, accounts get suspended without chances to improve. Yeah, that just goes back to our fair fresh program in our courses that Tamara mentioned. We don't suspend any accounts off one mistake. We do have different, well, like I say, we got a new program coming out next month, so it will be shared with all of you. And if you have any questions, you can always reply there or just reach out to me once that rolls out. But if this is something personal sharing, make sure you email me and I can go over that with you as well.
Yeah, so your best for now, I would head over to YouTube and look up TempStars and grab that the webinar for the Fair Fresh Start so you can see in detail. It's going to be a tiered system that you would go through, and you would be aware if there's a pattern that's starting that would push you to decline on the platform. You'll be aware of that. So, and then we give you ample amount of time and what you need to do to improve your score. So that, again, check out the video. It goes through everything in detail for you. And it's not going to be something that's cold turkey. We're going to be gradually moving into this program. So just check out the video, and I think you'll be more prepared for what's our next rollout. Hey there, Kendra. If you have a question, let us know.
Yeah, keep the questions coming. You guys are asking some really great questions.
And if we didn't answer your question, you're more than welcome to ask it again. We might have missed it. Okay, so Mallory's answering your question, Kendra. And that should be pretty consistent with all of our webinars. Yep. So just to reiterate what Mallory said, Kendra asked, would there be any compensation as a gift card or a voucher for today's session? This is something that we rolled out in previous webinars. And yes, everyone that has attended will be entered for a drawing for a gift card. And that's moving forward unless we say otherwise. That's the case with our webinars. And thank you for your question. Summarize email. Would it be possible to have the answers to these questions summarized in email? I think that's a good idea. There are a lot of really good questions, especially with this one. I think we can put something together.
And Shelby, let them know like you have webinars every week, so you guys can always write down your questions. And Shelby hosts her webinar. You can always ask them there as well.
Yep. So every month I create a new webinar on all different types of topics. I highly advise, if you haven't been to one of my live sessions before or watched a previously recorded one, again, head over to our YouTube channel, type in TempStars. It pulls up all my previous ones. I've done tons of different topics. Sultana, I know you asked about tips on how to make the offices happy. I highly recommend you watch the webinar I did on office cultures, different office cultures. That one is amazing, especially if you're new to the temping world in general. That one's great because every office, the dynamic in the office when you get in is always unique to that particular office. It could be from a fast-paced office to a mom and pop run family business. So the dynamic in there is always unique and different to that location. So I think being aware of that is a great tool to have, especially if you're temping at tons of different offices. So that video has a ton of different tips and tricks for temping at different types of offices. So that would be a good webinar to take a look at. And thank you for the question. That was a good one. You're welcome, Sharina. I'm glad you all joined. This has been great. Thank you again for all the great questions. You are welcome. Okay, good question. So you're currently working as an office admin and want to know when TempStars will initiate temping for front office.
Been a while. I know you.
Oh.
Yeah. Huh?
Okay, so yeah, we will be rolling out temping for admin. And just keep your eyes peeled for the announcements there. We're working hard on that. We've heard a lot of feedback, so that's something we'll be doing soon. Awesome. We're glad to have you. It's great. All right, we're just about approaching time. I'll give Travia a minute. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Travia. Next few releases. That's great. All right, well, I'm going to call it at time. Again, if you have other questions, make sure you write the email address I have on the screen, help@tempstars.com. That gives you a line to Travia and our other customer support representatives that can help you out with any questions you have specific to your own personal profile and your account. And then the QR code will be directly to one-on-one time with me. You can book anytime. Right. Well, thank you everyone for joining me. Stay tuned for next month's topic and webinar, and catch us on YouTube again for @TempStars. Bye, everyone.